Jackpot.
Jackpot indeed. Hello there, guys. It's almost here. Just a couple more weeks to go, and I am so excited. This is going to be my little trailer analysis, because I couldn't help myself. I've been trying to abstain from any and all Devil May Cry 5 content, but that is just... it was not going to happen, and I watched the trailer, and as a result, I've kind of been spoiled a couple of little things due to YouTube recommendations, but I want to do this trailer analysis because I'm really hyped for this. I cannot wait. I want this game to be out now. I hope there's no delays in this release. I've already bought the pre-order. I got the full package. I blew 60 quid on it, and it's going to be fucking great, I'm sure. But let's get into this trailer analysis, shall we? This will not be a super mega ultra professional analysis. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to scroll back and forth a little bit so we can see the little details that I want to see and go over it rather than edit it a million times. So I just want this to be a straight up analysis, kind of just to hype myself up. But I just want to try and spot the things I can spot. And I know there's a lot of stuff which has already been released. Like, for example, I've seen this once and I've seen some V gameplay and I've got some theories on it. And I'm fully aware that there was a 10 minutes of S-Rank gameplay video on V, so people know more or less the rough idea of where the character plays, but I don't know this information. This is coming from someone who's ignored most Devil May Cry 5 content. So all the comments I'm making are based on the understanding that I have not seen a lot of these new details that have been coming out. This was an absolutely awesome trailer. Let's get to the analysis.
It has begun. I will show you your worst nightmares.
Okay, so the first thing that strikes me in this trailer and struck me before was we saw Dante and his Devil Trigger, and that's not something that happens often in the Devil May Cry series. In Devil May Cry 3, you see it for like 1 or 2 cutscenes and that's it. But this to me shows that they're getting serious with their cutscenes, because let's face it, Devil May Cry cutscenes have always been good, but they've always been kind of lacking in showing the character's true abilities. You got Devil May Cry 4 Nero, which shows his abilities quite well, but like Dante and Virgil, you never see them like teleporting around or anything like that. This to me says they're stepping up their cutscene game. They are aiming up high. They are going for it, and I love that. I love the design of this. Like, just look at this. Does that Devil Trigger not look awesome? That looks absolutely awesome. I think this just shows that they're stepping up their cutscene game, and that bodes well for the quality of the game as a whole.
Worst nightmares. I will give you despair and death.
Okay, so that bit there was really interesting to me. This bit right here. You see how that looked? That looked like a quick play event to me. If you look really closely, I'll cut down the speed a little bit. Where's the speed? There it is. I'll cut it down to 0.5 times. If you look really closely, right here, you see how the enemy takes a swipe after the grapple? I don't know if that's just the animation, but I think that might be like after you grapple an enemy, you have like a button you can press and you get different grapples and different properties based on it. That would be really engaging to Nero's playstyle, because in Devil May Cry 4, you grapple someone and you just had a set animation, maybe 2 or 3 depending on their stun status. For example, bosses, of course, when they were stunned and you grappled them, you'd get different animations. But I think that signifies slightly more in-depth Buster gameplay, which I'm excited for.
Alright, time to kick some ass.
So they're bringing back Quicksilver style. That little bit there says that they're bringing back Quicksilver. There's going to be a lot of throwbacks in this, because I think after the reboot fiasco, they know that they pissed off a lot of fans. And I'm not going to comment on whether or not the reboot was a good or a bad game. I have my own thoughts on that. But it did not do well for the series as a whole. Hardcore Devil May Cry fans did not like it. I think this is a throwback. Like, just look at this. That is Quicksilver. I don't care what anyone says, that is Quicksilver. That is a throwback. They are going to be throwing everything back at this. This is, I don't know, but based on what I've seen so far, including like the very first reveal at the Microsoft conference, they're making throwbacks. They are trying to make this the best Devil May Cry yet.
Don't crap yourselves. He likes to kill demon things. That's why I built him that well-functioning arm. To kick demon ass.
Let's go for a walk, little chickie. Get lit.
That's something I want to talk about. Okay, so this bit in particular, this chicken. Watch this grapple.
Let's go for a walk, little chickie.
Look at how dynamic that looked. Like, let me just cut down the speed again. Like, if you think about the Devil May Cry 4 grapples, they were not that dynamic. They weren't particularly quick for the bosses. They were very sort of... For example, if you think about Bale, Nero would lift Barrio up, throw him down, or just straight up punch him away. And that wasn't smooth, whereas this...
Functioning arm. To kick demon ass.
I skipped too far forward there. Here we go. Watch this. Pulls him to the side, and you can immediately act, more or less. Like, that was in slow motion. That was like a second or maybe two before you could act again. That is smooth. Like, just a second for a grapple, and you can keep on whacking. Oh, that's brilliant. See, I don't know about everyone else, but I do think that the grapples in 4 were a good design, but they were slow as hell. Like, the animations were slow. This to me screams smooth. Like they said in the leak, there was a leak a long time ago. They said that the combat was going to be more streamlined, and I think that what they meant by that was smooth, because that just looks so smooth. Like, just grapple, throw to the side, keep on acting immediately afterwards. It's crazy, I think.
Get lit. Back it up, Frisco.
I think we should split into 2 groups and cover more ground. Good idea. Okay, Shakespeare. Just remember this. You and I like to exist.
Summoning character. So I'm gonna toot my own trumpet here. Go back maybe a year. I called this. When I was in the Reddit Devil May Cry Discord, and people were theorizing on Devil May Cry 5 before it was announced and all. I called that they were gonna make a summoning character, or a character with summons, and people said no, that's against the spirit of Devil May Cry, but I think this could work. I think that if you take your summons but make them, what's the word, make them, I don't know what the right word is, but commandable, basically. Make them essential to the character's kit. So for example, if we go here,
Cover more ground. Good idea. Okay, Shakespeare. Just remember this. You and I like to exist.
so you see how he has 2 summons. I think that they're going to use kind of like the style mechanic from Dante and Devil May Cry 4, because that's what they did for Nero, I think. Like, we see Nero's different kinds of busters in previous trailers and whatnot, and that to me represents, that's going to be the sort of pseudo style. I think there's going to be several styles for these things. So there's going to be one style in which the animals are very aggressive and you can command them, and then there's one where they can be defensive, where they'll sort of stand around and just be very passive and hit things if they come close. I think it's going to be 2 major kinds of gameplay style with V, because of something that comes a bit later, which I'll point out when we get to it. But I think it's going to be passive animals, maybe defensive, kind of. They sort of protect you as opposed to actively fight. And then there's the commanding combo-y rush down. For example, you can make the Panther run in and then the bird will swoop down and grab him or something. Like something that makes the summons work as combo pieces. And the different styles fits in well with that, because you could maybe command them to do nothing so that your own combos go in uninterrupted. Because when we were talking about this, people were saying that the whole point of Devil May Cry is you're one broken badass fighting a shit ton of enemies, and summons and stuff would just get in the way of that. And I understand that, which is why I think that this different style thing, you could set them just to passive. So Nier Automata, I didn't play it myself, but I know that you got an AI teammate who just followed you around everywhere. You could set him to passive, and he would just stand back and he would just shoot things, so he wouldn't mess around with your combos and whatnot. I think that they would do the same sort of thing for this, and if they're not going to, I think that is the correct design choice. Because there's a lot of people out there that will want to play this character and won't like the summons. I personally love the idea. I think it's sick. I think there's going to introduce a lot of new kinds of gameplay. Like, the closest thing we've had to them is, Summon Swords on Virgil, which just isn't quite the same. I think this is going to open up a whole new toolbox of options. I am super excited to play V.
So get rid of those demons quick, cause gonna make my stick go.
I can't hear what the bird's saying there.
So get rid of those demons quick, cause gonna make my stick go.
Can't understand what the bird's saying. This is the bit. So, you see here, right at this bit here.
Gonna make my stick go.
See how the Panther attacks and the bird's just shooting, like, balls of energy? I think that's going to be absolutely essential to the gameplay. I think that you're going to be able to command the Panther and the bird also, but you can also set them to be passive. So the Panther just swiped once and left it. I bet that the player can put in more inputs for the Panther to keep on striking, or to do a different kind of move, or a launch up, or something to that effect. Or you can just set it to automatic, but you can set the playstyle with the style system. So I think that, for example, if you press right on your D-pad, the Panther would go on the aggressive, and it would keep on hitting things, keep on hitting, keep on hitting. Or you could go left on the D-pad, and they'll both be defensive. I don't know exactly how they're going to control, or if they're going to replace the actual normal movesets, which I hope not, for a variety of reasons, which I'll get into in a moment. But I think that they're going to open up a lot of options. A reason I hope that they don't replace the actual moveset is you still want to do things yourself, right? Because if any of you have ever played Overlord, it's a very old Xbox 360 game. That game was essentially 99% commanding minions, and whilst it was a fun, strategical, do-the-thing kind of game, it wasn't the most engaging, exciting, I'm going to put 300 hours into this game, which is why I think that they have to make V have his own moveset. And I really, really hope that the summons are absolutely integral to it. So let's watch this little bit again.
Bring those demons quick, cause gonna make my stick go.
Ah, okay, so V does actually fight himself. We can tell just from that little bit here. So the creature's attack, boom. So you do actually fight yourself. To what degree, I'm not sure, obviously, because this is only a minor trailer. But I really hope these animals can have varying degrees of aggression. That's powerful. Look at that. Look at that. Hang on. So the first thing that strikes me is how are these minions going to be resourced? Because permanent minions that don't cost anything just sounds hilariously broken. Like, I know we could do hilariously broken things in all the Devil May Cries. Like, Virgil in Devil May Cry 3 and 4 was an unholy god, and there's no excuse for dying of him because he was utterly broken. But this, like, just this nuke. Fucking nuke all the things. I reckon that V's Devil Trigger is going to be replaced with a magic bar. And to do these things, it's going to cost you magic, mana. Because he strikes me, from the little I've seen, as a spellcaster type character. You know, he's a magic user, because before the bird was saying you're not allowed to exist. That to me suggests that he's really powerful. Like, because it was said in the leak again that V was a mysterious, really powerful character. V might just be more powerful than Dante. I think they're going to replace the Devil Trigger with a magic bar, and I reckon he's going to get a lot more spells than just commanding minions. Summon swords. Look at that. Okay, so that there, I think, is a hint saying that V was changed by Virgil. trained by Virgil. How can you say otherwise? Like that, I think that's entirely what that hint is meant to drop. Because we know that Virgil's going to be in Devil May Cry 5. There's no way he's not. Like, just look at this bit again. Right here, right here. Basically summon swords. Now, the one thing that does concern me is this bit here. Watch the minions. The Panther does one swipe, the bird's shooting balls again. I don't know if that's because they're trying to hide some more of the gameplay, or if that's all they've got. Because if that's the only moves they've got, that's going to get dull real quick. I really hope that they're just hiding gameplay for later at that, because that is very worrisome. The fact they're only showing this again. Like, the fact they're only showing that is worrisome at best. But the fact that the bird gets a nuke and the Panther's definitely going to have its own unique move, like, that's probably going to be, come to think of it, that's probably going to be like the Devil Trigger burst from Devil May Cry 3. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. I think they're going to have some unique moves, but I don't think that the minions' movesets are going to be particularly fleshed out. But it's too early to tell.
What evil lurks? I must destroy.
That plays more into the theory that I think V's a spellcaster. Look at this.
What evil lurks?
Also, it's emo as fuck.
I must destroy.
Get stabbed. Teleports behind you, nothing personnel, kid, right? Watch this.
I must destroy.
That's going to be a parry. That's essentially going to be like a parry, I think. Bayonetta Mark II, anyone? Bayonetta? Like, I think that was blatantly copped from Bayonetta. The fact they're making him get all these different summons, like kind of adapting to the situation as needed. Because, you know, Bayonetta had the spider, the Jubileus, the fucking dragon one. Was it Gamora? Something like that? That's what this says to me. So we saw that thing melting away there. That to me looks scripted. Watch the ground very closely. If you look at how specifically that animation is tailored to the background, I'll show you with my mouse just along here. I think that's a story part. I think this summon isn't going to be so much for casual use as it is for story purposes. Because that seems a bit too convenient to me. I don't think we're going to get much gameplay of this thing. V's going to be really important. Obviously, I mean, he's a main character, but I don't know, he seems like he's going to be a lot more important than you would think. Like, just look at this. That's the world tree in the background there. Look at this very carefully. Right here. That is the world tree, right? Or some massive ass demon. I don't know, he's going to be super powerful, super important. Like, the fact that he's got a summon that pretty much tailors itself to story purposes, which we'll see in a second in the trailer. I don't know, I think he's going to be like really, really important. This to me says that all three characters are going to be very important to the end. If you look at Devil May Cry 4, it was only Nero and Dante that were really important. Everyone else was just kind of there. But this to me says that all three of these characters are going to be super important. There's going to be some gigantic fucking climax.
V, why don't you tell me everything about this job?
So that bit there, that's what makes me think that V's summon is kind of story tailored. Because look at this.
Tell me everything about this job.
There's no gameplay that's going to look like that. That is a scripted event. And that's why I think this thing is story related more than it is actually gameplay related. Because that's just too convenient. There's no way they'll design a moveset that will interact with bosses that well consistently. And if they do, credit to them, and I'm an idiot, but I think that's too convenient. And I think it's going to be available for certain battles and certain sections of the story. That's just what I think based on what we've seen. I think that's quite reasonable.
Powerful demon is about to resurrect, and we need your help, Dante.
He's got Cerberus back. Look at this. That right there. That is Cerberus, surely. Like, that's the fucking nunchucks. I think they're going to be bringing back a lot of old Devil May Cry stuff. As I've said, they're going to be doing a lot of throwbacks. They're going to be bringing stuff back. This is to please the fans, and I think they know that this is their last chance to do something good with Devil May Cry. Because, let's face it, if Devil May Cry 5 fails, Devil May Cry is dead. I don't think it will fail, based on what I've seen, and based on the hype surrounding it. I'm very confident that it will be very, very successful, and we might even be able to look forward to more Devil May Cries in the future. But if it fails, Devil May Cry is screwed. And these throwbacks are just building my confidence more and more because they're pleasing the fans. They're trying to put in what the fans want while still making new, fresh stuff, as we'll see from more gameplay here. That's another thing brought back. That further solidifies the theory of pleasing the fans. By the way,
Need your help, Dante.
Cowboy Dante? Anyone? Cowboy Dante?
What? Is that...
Also, if you look closely, right, not here, here. That's a Devil May Cry 3 demon there. Couldn't quite get a good shot there. Think about here. There you go. That's maybe a frame or two more. No, I can't quite get a good shot. When I pause, for some reason, my screen gets a bit pixelated. But you can see here that there is a Devil May Cry 3 demon. And I think that's cool. They're bringing sort of those sorts of designs back, and we're still seeing a lot of new demons. I think this is going to have the biggest demon lineup of enemies in any Devil May Cry. And that's saying something, because 3 had quite a lot of unique, different demons.
I have a duty to see this through.
What the hell was that? That's probably something to do with the cowboy thing. I don't quite understand what Dante's doing there. Who's ready to smash some demon faces in with a fucking bike? I am.
And you need to see this through. Dante's war.
Come on, little puppy. I'll take you out for a walk.
Bringing back old Dante attitude. Good. Trish and lady designs. Bad. Look at them. Like, look at this. Like, I might have picked an unfortunate screenshot, but just look at this.
I'll take you out for a walk.
I don't know what it is, but Trish and lady just look so dumb. Maybe I'm just over-criticizing there, but I think they look real dumb.
Made it for Lady and she paid for it, so consider it a rental.
Co-op. Look at this. Tell me this does not scream co-op. Like, I've said it in previous videos, I want co-op to be a thing just because I want to see what the likes of Don Guri and IX Kevin can do together. Like, those guys are so crazy good at these games, and I want to see the masterpiece of combos they can put together. And look at this bit in particular. This really interests me. So first of all, we get a launch move on the Panther, which I'd forgotten I'd seen, and that's really, really awesome. So that shows more fleshed out movesets. We've only seen like 3 moves from each of these creatures. They're going to have more. And if you see down here, we've got V. I think this is a demon down here, but we've got V and Nero fighting together. I don't know if that means there's going to be AI-controlled allies, which have been explored a little bit in Devil May Cry, but never really utilized, or if that's straight-up online co-op play. But either way, I'm really happy, because I think that brings something unique to the game. Like, an AI-controlled ally in Devil May Cry comes down to Lady in Devil May Cry 3's post-game credits. So when you're playing in the post-game credits and you're slaying all the demons for the bonus, you've got Lady with you, and you've got Virgil with you in mission 19 of Devil May Cry 3, which if you have a friend with a controller, he can actually control Virgil. And that's about as far as AI allies go, I think. I'm trying to think of any other examples. I guess there's also the Devil May Cry 4 thing where certain demons try and fight each other, but that's as far as it's gone. And I think this is straight up co-op. Like, look at this. I think that's straight up co-op, and I love this Panther move. Like, look at this. Just the way it backflips, launches him up. keeps him up there. That's a combo extender, that, and that's really nice. I think that that's probably going to control similarly to the way Dante would. So you'd like have your lock on backwards melee button. That would be the launch, and then the Panther's sort of thing is going to be just your guns kind of input, something to that effect. I think there's probably going to be like a couple of different switches for V. So you're going to switch from like minion style to active style, where you're fighting yourself and you're not actually using the minions, and you can have to switch between those much like you would have Dante. But I'm looking forward to this co-op play. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's got Sparta. Dante has Sparta. So if you remember the end of Devil May Cry 2, Dante went into hell. Did he have Sparta then, though? I can't remember. Or Sparta left at his shop. It's been a long time since I've studied Devil May Cry continuity. But either way, he's got Sparta. That's really awesome. So far we've seen Cerberus, Rebellion, Sparta, the bike, some fucking lightning knuckles. That's 4 of... Wait, no. Sparta, lightning knuckles, Cerberus, Rebellion, bike. So that's 5. So that's 5 weapons we've seen so far. I don't think he's going to be able to equip them all. I think it's going to get to be like the Devil May Cry 3 Divinity statue type thing, where you select your gear before you leave. But that's really sick. Oh, we also see Flame Knuckles. Nice. And that's real impact.
What's happening now?
Get Nero out of here! This is a bad move! Nero! No! You're just dead weight!
Dante laying the smackdown on Nero. Go back.
What's happening now?
Get Nero out of here! This is a bad move! Nero! No! You're just dead weight!
You're just dead weight, Nero. Fucking savage Dante. But that's definitely his devil triggered voice. That's... Okay, I know that's just such a little thing to pick on, but I think the devil is in the details here. I think that I think the fact they're gonna have Dante interacting with Nero in Devil Trigger is gonna drive home just how deadly this scenario is. Because let's face it, Dante is really fucking strong. Like, he is very strong. Like, he one-shot a fucking god in the anime. I don't know if the anime is canon. But even despite that, Dante is very powerful. And the fact that he's struggling and he's telling Nero to get out as he's dead weight, we're going to be facing some really powerful enemies. And because of this really powerful lore behind them, I think that's going to open up some super interesting boss fights. I know that's a really long, windy sort of analysis, but I really think that that's what that signifies. Like, this just signifies effort, lore, power, implementation into the game and how they're going to do it. I just think that's going to be really awesome. Oh, I can't wait. I know half my analysis come down to it's going to be really awesome, but come on. Question. Is that Sparta? Probably not. It's probably going to be someone trying to take his power again. But that's probably going to be the final boss right there. Devil May Cry 5. Okay, so let's go back just a second. That's a lot of demons to face at once. There's not often you do that in Devil May Cry 5, in Devil May Cry games. In the reboot, you had quite a lot of rooms with a lot of different enemies, but even that was quite limited. Devil May Cry 4, you had a couple of bloody palace rooms which had a lot of scarecrows. These look kind of like the fodder enemies, look kind of like scarecrows to me. But then in the other Devil May Crys, you just didn't have that many enemies, and the leak did say there'd be more enemies than we used to facing at a time. So I think this signifies a power creep. We have to fight a lot of enemies at once, and we've got to be really powerful to deal with it. And we've seen some of the moves alone, like Nero having Quicksilver, and we saw how long it lasted. Like, if that's going to replace Devil Trigger, then that would make a lot of sense in order to balance the power. But I think this signifies a definite power creep. So we just saw there, V does have his own moves. He will play independently from the minions, I think. I think that they're still going to be decently important to his playstyle, if not absolutely integral. That's just what that little bit signifies to me, and I think they're just covering up a lot of the gameplay for later. March 8. March 8. March 8, March 8, March 8. We've still got 30 seconds. What's this? Okay, it's just more advertisement stuff, right? Yeah, it's just advertisement stuff. I've got the deluxe edition. I've gotten all the weapons. We've got the battle musics, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Devil May Cry 3 Virgil battle music. That's going to be sick. Live action cutscenes, which you don't see in the normal edition. So I'm going to love seeing that live. That's going to be great. I know it's all going to be on YouTube anyway. I might even post it myself. But being able to see it yourself is going to be sick. We've got style rank announcers and title calls. That's probably just going to be the characters in the game that call that sort of stuff. It looks like the bike is locked behind the deluxe edition, so that's not going to be great for some. I don't think they should gate content like that, but they are. I don't agree with it, but I think that the game's got enough hype that people will buy into it anyway. Because I can't... Like, the thing is that I justified blowing 60 quid on this, and I don't spend money easily, but I justified spending 60 quid on this because I've waited nearly, 11 years at this point for this game. Like, close to it. Like, I played Devil May Cry 4 in 2008 as one of the first games on my Xbox 360, and I loved it so much, and I was waiting for Devil May Cry 5. 2010 came around, 2011 came around, 2012 came around, the reboot came around, which I enjoyed, except for the lock-on. Why didn't you put a lock-on in there, Ninja Theory? You fucking idiots. And then 2013, 2014, I'd given up hope. Then 2015 comes along. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. Woo! Play as Virgil. Cream my pants. Fucking 2016, 2017, late 2018 rolls around and I'm losing hope again. I'm like, okay, there's no Devil May Cry 5. They were just milking the franchise for what it's worth before it was dead. And then Microsoft conference, boom! And then 2019, Devil May Cry 5 is finally here. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on Devil May Cry 5 release.
Jackpot.